Good morning, fifth graders. Today is Tuesday, June 30th of 2020. This is our second lesson of week 2 for summer school math for fifth grade. So today our what, why, and how is very similar to yesterday. Our what is math. Our why is to feel prepared for middle school math. And our how is a little bit different. There are two things that we are focusing on today and the rest of this week. The first thing is that I really want you all to feel confident answering the warm-up questions as we go through them. We have now had several practice warm-ups that have been very similar, so you should start to feel a little bit more confident in thinking through and answering the questions that we do in the warm-up. And the other thing is I want you to feel comfortable with the lesson format and passing lessons in iReady. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that as we move on. So there are 3 places for where students can be right now, right? So I don't mean places like home, the park, grandma's house, grandpa's house, the store, all that kind of stuff. By places, I mean there are 3 there's 3 places where we could be academically, I guess. And it's okay to be in any of those 3 places right now because it's so early in the summer. So the 3 sort of places where we could be as a 5th grade student are going to be called lessons, diagnostic, and starting diagnostic. So some students are just starting to be able to get into Google Classroom. They're just starting to be able to get into iReady. They're just starting to understand how to use Zoom and how to communicate and be a part of class. So they're sort of in the starting up, getting set up, gaining an understanding place of summer school. Some students are in the middle of the diagnostic, which is the assessment that is going to give us our first measurement of your math skills. And students who are working on the diagnostic, their ultimate goal right now is working towards done. Working towards, I have finished my diagnostic. I have an accurate measurement of where I am starting summer school math. The third place where some students are finding themselves is in this lesson place. And I would say that this is the biggest, broadest, most, most differing place where students will be. Most individualized place. Let's say that. So students who are in this lesson mode, this lesson place, are actually in a really big place with lots of different options. So students who are working on lessons could potentially be working on a lesson in Google Classroom. So for example, in week 1, we had lesson 1, parts 1 and 2. And some students are finding that they are working on that and thinking about number placement and relationship between numbers. Some students are not working in Google Classroom. They've finished that lesson, and they are working in iReady. And in iReady, there are really 2 camps, 2 places that you could be. You could be working in what's called My Pathway, or you could be working in what's called teacher-assigned lessons. So My Pathway lessons and teacher-assigned lessons. So far this summer, I have only assigned 1 set of lessons that go along with what we are doing to warm up ourselves and our math skills at the start of each of our lessons. And those teacher-assigned lessons are really there to help you if you feel like you're struggling as we are moving through our warm-ups. They're also there to help you if you just want to make sure that you are really getting it and you want to be able to show yourself, hey, I can pass this lesson. I'm doing an awesome job. They're there for that purpose also. Now, my pathway, the reason why it says my pathway and not just fifth grade pathway is because the pathway is different for every single one of you as fifth grade math students. That's why it's called my pathway. So if my friend Tyra took the iReady diagnostic and my friend Kenyun took the iReady diagnostic, their lessons will not be 100% the same because they might not have answered every single question on that diagnostic test 100% the same. Instead, their pathway is going to take things that they're really, really good at, and it's going to say they've tested out of them. And it's going to take things that maybe they need a little bit more help on to be stronger with and work on those things. And it will give them practice and lessons and sort of reteach. And then it will reassess or give them a quiz so that they can show their understanding. Then it will give them sort of the next step, the next chunk of math that's going to help them to be ready for sixth grade math. So that lessons place is where we're going to have the most different individualized stuff going on for each student. Okay? So each day when we have our lessons, it's kind of going to look like this. So our class is designed to be 1 hour. So 1 hour a day during summer school, you are working on math. The first half of that, the first half hour, as you can see in the green, is our group instruction. Whether that is you showing up to the Zoom and talking with me, your teacher, and your classmates, and doing the practice math problems together and talking through the responses. Or if that group instruction is you watching these videos and going through on your own time and making sure that you're still getting the same information, that should account for about half of that time period that you have for math. Then what's going to happen is the other half of our class is broken up, and it's very individualized, meaning it's different for each person based on their needs. It's broken up between practice and lessons. So in iReady, when you click on My Pathway or you click on Teacher Assigned Lessons, you are going to see that it is sort of going to walk you through a different math skill each time. And the lessons are sort of there to refresh your mind, to teach you a new something or other, and to sort of get you going. But at the end of the day, the thing that should be taking the most time is your practice. That is where you are going to be able to take the skills that you've learned in our group, take the skills that you have been refreshed on, take the skills that you are working on, maybe that you struggled with a little bit in group and you got a little bit more help with on the lessons, and then practice, 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 so that when you take a quiz, you're able to say, I went from only knowing half of these questions to all of these questions, right? And that goes back to our overall goal for the summer, which is to be successful in math, and to show success, we're trying to show growth, okay? Friendly reminder, just thought I would drop this in there. Our Google Classroom code is RLW EUR, all lowercase, and a 7 at the end. If you are not in Google Classroom right now, which some of you are not, now is a good time to make sure that you add yourself to Google Classroom. Help! Look at this cute little dinosaur. I know you can only see half of the dinosaur because it says you are sharing your screen at the bottom, but this dinosaur needs our help, right? He says, help me, or he says, ayúdame. I went to the store for a few things. At checkout, I had a $100 TV, a $40 worth of movies, and $8 worth of snacks. How much did the cashier say I owed? I'm going to give you 20 seconds right now to think about that. I think 20 seconds is up. So, help hint for those of you who are thinking through this and all that kind of stuff. Say the numbers together. Say the numbers together. Say the numbers together. There is no big time math required. You don't need a calculator to add 100 plus 40 plus 8. If you think about the placements that we've been talking about all week, all of summer school so far, you should be able to say 148. Oops, I don't know how that just happened. So our answer that we talked through together in class today is that if we say all of the numbers, if we say 100 plus 40 plus 8, we have 148. As you move through the problems in Google Classroom, as you move through the problems in iReady, think about saying those numbers out loud. Think about saying those numbers out loud. Think about how, if you really look at the numbers and you think about their places, the math for that becomes quite easy. So, today in class, after we finished discussing this problem together, what we did is we broke off then and we said, all right, friends, if you need to finish your diagnostic like we talked about back here, if you need to start your diagnostic, if you need to make sure that you are set up in iReady and that you are understanding why you're doing the diagnostic, which is the video at the beginning, that is the place where you will find yourself, and that's what you should work on when you are done with this video. If you are working on the diagnostic and you are not done yet, you are working towards being done, you are working towards that I am done statement. If you are in place number 3, which is where you are working on lessons, you are working on completing the Google Classroom lesson or a My Pathway lesson or a teacher-assigned lesson. And you are not just clicking through and trying to finish as quickly as possible, but you are trying to make sure that you pass the lesson and that you're able to show growth and understanding of the skill. Happy Tuesday, friends. See you tomorrow.